first learned that my daughter was in detention, I was like, she's in jail. She's locked up. She's not home. What can be going on in there? It was just not a good feeling at all because my daughter always was home with me. So that was just like, I couldn't sleep.
I knew something like this was gonna happen. I wasn't surprised he'd be in detention, but I was a little surprised they sent him without my permission. I did not know they could do that. The detention people called and asked a lot of questions, I guess so they could take care of him, and they explained the phone and visit schedules.
If your child has been placed in detention, it is because he or she are believed to be a risk to themselves or others.
Detention centers are used for the safety of children, as well as the safety of others.
Yo no creía que esto iba a suceder, yo lloré, él lloró, me dijo, tráeme para casa, yo dije, no puedo, ya tú estás ahí, tiene que seguir la cosa bien para poder regresar para mi casa, yo lo voy a ayudar, yo voy a ser fuerte, voy a estar para él, me sentí bien mal.
The first questions that popped in my head was who was she in there with, because you know, you hear a lot of stories about kids from other towns, they don't get along, they're fighting, and safety was definitely one. Just like, it was so many questions, like, oh my God, what? Is she eating? Did they hit her? Did they, you know, they're yelling, how do they work in there? Like, what's their system in there?
You don't need to bring anything to your child. He has everything he needs: clothes, food, toiletries, and a bed.
In detention, your child is on a schedule. They go to school, they exercise, and they need to follow the rules.
The first person that helped me with the process of detention was her probation officer. They have a list of questions that they ask you because they have to have your permission to do certain things. And they also tell you your daughter's gonna be assigned a caseworker. I asked, like, okay, where is she sleeping? How is the sleeping arrangements? Is there boys in there? Like, I asked a lot of questions and my questions were answered.
Your child will never be alone while in the detention center. A juvenile detention officer, or JDO, will monitor your child while in the center.
While in detention, the JDO follows your child's every move and knows the most about what is happening with your child.
The JDO is in constant contact with the Classification and Program Officer, or CPO. Part of the CPO's job is to be in contact with parents or guardians. The child's probation officer is in contact with the CPO. For example, the JPO checks on your child's behavior and discusses your child's return to the community. Family input at this stage is really important.
If your child has any medical problem which requires medication, you can call the detention center nurse. The nurse will contact the doctor and get the prescription filled.
It's important to provide the detention center nurse with your child's medical history. Your child's probation officer or attorney can give you their phone number.
I was told that any questions I may have, anything, I can call her caseworker, and trust me, I did. Because that's my child that's in there, so yes, I'm gonna ask questions.
The detention center has time scheduled for phone calls and family visits. You cannot just pick up the phone and call your child anytime, but your child may call you during scheduled phone time.
I decided to go visit him in detention. I didn't want to, but I did. I was just like, is this a life you want for yourself, to be locked up? Because that's the path you're on.
It's really important to be available for your child's calls and to visit your child. Be sure to ask for the phone and family visit schedules.
If there is a family emergency, you can call the center and talk to the staff. Remember, the JPO or lawyer can give you the phone number. The detention centers have parent-guardian handbooks. Ask the detention center staff or the JPO for a copy. It contains important information. Parents and guardians can also visit the Judicial Branch website at www.jud.ct.gov. Click on the Public tab and then CSSD.
We would talk on the phone every day. We talk about everything. Was she eating well? How did she like the food? How did she do on her tests? And I made sure that she was following what the teacher asked her to do.
Después que yo visité a ellos me dieron el calendario, cuántas veces puede llamar, si se porta mal, pues le quitan la visita o la llamada.
It's important that kids follow the rules while in detention. Everything that happens in detention is written down, including behavior, and whether they attend school.
The detention staff uses a point system to track behavior. Good behavior results in rewards, such as additional phone time.
My kid rarely listened to me, so I wasn't surprised when he didn't follow the rules in detention.
Inappropriate behavior usually results in losing privileges.
Yo pude visitar a mi hijo cuando estaba en detención porque es muy importante que una madre vaya a visitar a su hijo y porque se lo ha ganado también, y así yo sé que él va a salir pronto porque él está ganando visitas.
Juvenile detention is used for short-term placement. It's important to talk and visit with children while they're in there. If your child has a complaint about something that happened to him while in detention, like the way staff talks to him, if something was stolen, if kids are bothering him, or if staff breaks the rules, he can talk to a supervisor or fill out a grievance form. He should also tell his lawyer about the complaint.
If you suspect your child has been treated inappropriately while in detention, be sure to tell your child's attorney.
If the problem is not solved, you may call the superintendent, who's the boss and in charge of the detention center.
The detention staff understands that the definition of family can be complicated. It's important to understand whom the child considers family.
My advice to make sure when you have a child in your home, whether it's a family member's child, like they have that as family foster care, or just even foster care, is to make sure the courts, the systems do recognize you as the parent. You're a family, it's not foster.
I was relieved that I can call and talk to the staff when I had questions.
You can call to speak to detention center staff about anything, such as how well your kid is doing in school, if he's been sick, or just how he's doing overall. Children in detention have many rights, and you have a right to advocate for them.
Speak up if you need help. You can call the center, speak to the CPO, JDO, nurses, teachers. There's a lot of staff there, and it's confusing to know who's who. So it's important that you ask.
Provide as much information to the center staff as possible. Health records, treatment plans, special diets, report cards, IEP records, and evaluation results. All this information is helpful.
If your child is in detention, my advice would be to communicate. Visit often and talk on the phone every day.
Make sure you go visit. Make sure you get those phone calls when they call, and try to visit. And even if you can't write them, write them. Just ask questions and be there for your child. Be there for your child.
It's important to remember that anyone can be successful and make lasting behavioral changes.
To get the best results for your child, it's important to work with the probation officer, the agencies your child might be referred to, and to understand the court orders for your child, including the length of the probation.
My advice to parents whose children are released from detention is to still be involved. Stay involved with school and go up to the school. Do some check-ins. Call. Ask questions. Speak to the teachers. You have that right.
If you're worried this experience will ruin your child's life, it doesn't need to.
Your child's lawyer and JPO can explain how records are erased after the case closes.
Yo le doy consejo a la familia que esté interesado de sus hijos, porque yo he visto muchas familias que los dejan tirados por allá, no le importa, pero yo le doy consejo que sí le importen, porque los niños de uno no les dijo a nosotros tráeme el mundo, nosotros lo traemos para el mundo, so tenemos que terminar hasta que tenga su edad. So, por lo bueno o por lo malo, tienen que estar ahí.